surprise. A surprise. I like surprise.
Welcome to the show, guys. This is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. It's Friday. I hope you guys are preparing for the weekend. You know me, I'm always prepared for the weekend. My weekend started yesterday. But with that being said, guys, man, I got a very extraordinary team tonight on the show. I want you guys to come check out, man. The Rhode Island Paranormal Research Group out of Ohio. Man.
No, out of Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. I'm looking at Ohio. And you know what? I got Rhode Island right there, right out of Rhode Island.
That's all right.
Man. And I'm sitting right here, Ohio. I'm thinking about those damn Cleveland Indians. I was mentioning I was thinking about those Cleveland Indians. Yeah, out of Rhode Island, man. Small state. You know what? But it gets cold up there. And, man, I have a team that's I'm a little bit curious to see what they got going on up there, man. So hopefully we'll find out a lot about what's going on up there, you know. But in the meantime, we're going to turn it over to our guest, Margaret and her husband. And we're going to let these guys introduce themselves. Introduce yourselves, guys.
Hey,
this is Dave Florio.
I'm Dave Florio.
I'm Margaret Florio.
Maggie.
We're members of the Rhode Island Paranormal Research Group. We're one of the oldest continuously operating paranormal groups in New England. We were founded in 1984 by our current director, Andrew Laird, and 3 of his friends. And the story behind the founding of our group is posted on our website. Am I allowed to give you our website? Because I know certain streaming services don't let you do that. But you know what? I'll put it in the chat. How's that? I'll type it in.
There you go. Hey, you know,
and you can check it out. There's a lot of good information in there. I can't type and talk at the same time.
That's okay. Neither can I.
We've been everywhere from Scotland to...
Well, Dave and I have investigated all over the place. We even went to Scotland a few years ago with Mysterious Adventure Tours. And we had a great time with them. So there's our website if you want to go check it out.
Yeah, Maria and Bob. Good people.
Yeah, Maria and Bob. They're wonderful people. They run great tours. So we went to Scotland with Andrea Perrin, who, as you may or may not know, was the oldest daughter of the Perrin family that lived in the house in Harrisville, Rhode Island, that The Conjuring movie was based on. But Andrea, who's a year and 2 months older than me, not that we're counting, but she published 3 books about what really happened there, called House of Darkness, House of Light. The first one was published in 2011. That's when I first met her. When we first met her.
Oh, no. I've known her from when she was a child.
See, he knew he grew up a couple houses away from her aunt and uncle.
One house
over.
Yep.
So I mean, Rhode Island's a small state. Everybody knows everybody else. So anyway, I've been a member of the Rhode Island Paranormal Research Group for 22 years, and Dave's been a member for 14.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Andrea Perrin is actually a very cool person.
Yeah,
from the time she was a child, she was. I knew her when she was about 9 years old, and she was amazing then. And she went into social work, and she was a social worker, and then she fell into looking back at her history and writing about the Conjuring.
The history behind the house.
Yeah, she's really cool.
I think it was kind of like a healing thing for her.
Very. Yeah. And she works with a guy called Neil Story. They do tours together.
No, they did the tour that we were on,
and it was really.
It was
Neil's
awesome.
a really, really fine gentleman, and
he's an author as well.
So
we met some nice people on the Scotland tour.
Yeah, we just came back from the Hudson Valley, where we went to the Shanley House
in New York. Yeah, we went out there with let's see, there were 7 group members, and we went out to the Hudson Valley area of New York. We went to the Pine. What is it? The Pine. Oh gosh, I can't think of it. The UFO. Oh, Pine Bush UFO Museum. And I really never knew that area, the Hudson Valley, is like a hot spot for UFOs.
Oh wow! I wonder why is that? That sounds interesting.
It's got something to do with it. It's got something to do with. There's a lot of factors.
Ley lines.
One, they claim that there's ley lines nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is there's a lot of minerals in the soil that attract. They're magnetized. So they attract that kind of activity. People have reported all kinds of activity. So the museum was really fascinating. And then we drove from Pine Bush to Napanock, and we spent the night at the haunted Shanley Hotel.
Oh, wow.
Tell you, I always say a place isn't haunted until I go there and I say it's haunted. Like for me, yeah, that place definitely.
The owner is Kelly, and the other person.
Her assistant is Tracy.
Kelly and Tracy. Very nice.
And they do it right. It's very inexpensive for some people to spend the night, and they provide a tour. They do a couple of sessions with you. Snacks. And they give you unlimited snacks and soft drinks and coffee all night. You get breakfast the next morning for $499 plus, tax and other stuff.
And they have great beds.
And the rooms, the one we stayed in was very comfortable, but some of them are very haunted.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's take a moment. I want to be able to get to know you guys.
Okay.
How long you guys been married?
45 years.
How many years?
We've been together since 1978.
Wow. Okay. How do you guys do it?
Patience with each other, and a whole lot of love.
Patience and love. That is 2 of the key factors the young generation don't have today.
And never go to bed mad with each other.
Nope, they don't. We were taught if something was broke, you fixed it. And they're like, if something is broke, you throw it away. And you replace it with something else. And like, no, that's not. Like, my parents were married until they died. And his parents were married until they died, until one of them passed. I mean, that's how we brought up.
Unbelievable. Hey, a lot of respect for you guys, for what you guys
you as well, brother. We do.
For what you guys are doing, what you guys have accomplished in your life. So with that being said, you know, you guys have been paranormal investigators for a long time. You guys have seen the community evolved into what it is now. So, how do you feel about the way the community is now? Are you guys giving it two thumbs up, or are you guys giving it thumbs down because of all the drama that's going on? Of course, 20 years ago, we didn't have all that drama compared to what it is today. So, give me what you guys really think about it.
Well, I have a real positive outlook. Uh, I know some of the famous people, and they're no different than you and I. They're just trying to make a living, and let's face it, this is a hard gig to make a living at, but they do it and they care and they're nice people. So I give it a thumbs up. Once in a while, you may get uh, someone who uses the paranormal abilities they have to do things that are not necessarily on the up and up. I can speak about that because I was the chief probation and parole supervisor in Rhode Island. I supervised parole, I supervised the sex offender unit, supervised at times the domestic violence unit, uh, safe streets, the sex offender unit. That was my primary responsibility in making sure uh, there were no victims, and that's the biggest thing. Uh, in the time I was there, we didn't have any child molesters molest on kids. So I mean, that was a 7-year gig, and then I retired from the state, and I moved on to.
Oh, where'd he go? Oh, guys, I think they disconnected. They just popped off. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna try to get them back here in a minute. Uh, don't know what happened, guys. Let's see here. I'm gonna give them a couple minutes. Wait a minute, there they go.
Yeah, it was during the quadruple bypass. I had a near death experience, and that changed me forever. And
Okay, interesting.
my life is all about kindness and love, peace. That's it. Maggie, on the other hand, had to live with all that, and she survived and made it through with me, and we're better than ever. We're very, very, very happy. And
Okay. Man, you guys left the screen for a minute there. I don't know what happened.
Oh, I was trying to do something and
Oh, okay. I was wondering what happened. I'm like,
sorry
oh,
about that. That was my fault.
yeah, it was a little weird, She
I was trying to
she's
get
trying to
into
shut me up.
no, I was trying to get into the main comments. Because right now I'm in the private chat.
uh-huh.
Because I wanted to put my website in the main comments, but you got to sign in and all that other stuff. And
Yeah,
I don't know how to sign in, so
yeah, it gets pretty technical when man, I'll be honest with you. I can't even do the half the things that this website is set up for. I try to keep it simple and basic where I can understand it, but there's so much that you can do on here. It's I really don't want to mess anything up. It's bad enough I'm
like
paying.
I just did.
I just have to say thank you, and it's good to see you again.
Oh man, no problem. I mean, dude, I love talking to people, individuals that actually have an idea on what they're talking about, that's been around, and they can teach me something, instead of, me teaching them something. I want to learn something, for a change. I want to be educated because I want to be able to share that knowledge that you share with me. I want to be able to share it with others. So no, I should be saying thank you for coming on the show, and sharing all your wisdom and your knowledge with me, and with the world, because uh, individuals that's been doing this for a long time are far and few. Most of them have retired. Most of them have given up on paranormal investigating because it's turned out to be uh, you know kind of difficult. And as old, as sometimes we get a little bit older, we're not able to move as much as we used to. Because I know my knees are killing me
Mine
and
too.
my back. So
But I can
and
feel an angelic force around you.
huh?
I can feel something around you from here. Something very positive, a positive energy.
Well,
Someone is looking out for you. I really believe that.
are you telling me you're a gifted individual?
Yes,
Uh-oh, what are we talking about here?
that's my medium. But
Well,
I can.
thank you. I try to be positive. In this world, there's so much negativity in it. I mean, you have to be positive. I mean, no matter what situation you're in, uh, you know, the loss of a loved one, or you just having a bad day at work, or your dog ran away. I mean, you just got to think positive, thinking that everything's going to be okay in the long run.
That's right. Good
And
attitude.
that's my mindset. If I think negative, then it
Yeah,
really, if I'm thinking negative, then something must be really bothering me. And
Mm,
I really try not to let too many things bother me.
yeah, yeah. That's
that's true.
that's the way to go about it. So, a couple of things you had said that 20 years ago there wasn't all that much drama in the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
I have to differ with you on that because I remember in 2004 a TV show came out called Ghost Hunters,
Uh-oh.
and the group on the show Ghost Hunters was from Warwick, Rhode Island, which is like 10 minutes from here. And there was a lot of drama on that show because there were certain people on the team that were kind of sketchy, you know what I mean? And they would get
Mm-hmm.
caught doing stuff, and and it created drama on the show. And some people left, and they had a lot of personnel changes, and the two main guys basically split up, and one of them kept the Ghost Hunters name, and the other one decided to do a new show with a new name. So this, I mean, I that was what, 21 years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
there's always been some kind of, I mean, even if you go back to like the pioneers of modern paranormal that used equipment and used the media, they created quite a lot of drama in the scientific world. So yeah, there's always been drama in the paranormal. It kind of goes hand in hand. We don't like when it turns negative. There can
Mm-hmm.
be drama that's kind of positive too. So we don't like when it goes negative, but there's always been drama. And then as far as people not being in the paranormal for a long time, and I mean, like John Zaffis, he's been in the paranormal for like over 40 years. He started with his aunt and uncle, of course, and Lorraine Warren, who's um, who's what is it? Their acronym is, what is it? The American, it's SPR. Um, New England SPR. So it's NESPR, which is really close to your acronym. It's New England Society for Paranormal Research. So that was Ed and Lorraine's group that I think they established it in 1964. Like I was like 4 years old. But John Zaffis, who is their nephew, he's been doing it for like over 40 years. And he still like he still does like guided ghost tours, and he shows up at paranormal conferences, and he does all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I recently found out he's the same age as Dave. I was kind of on this, like, this older gentleman, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, he's the same age as my husband. And we saw him. Dave and I like to do like the local paranormal conventions. So we went to one in Fairhaven, Massachusetts was the last one we went to. And John was there with Brian Kano. And they were the haunted collectors. They were on that show.
Nice.
And they did a lecture.
Mm-hmm.
And they had they had 3 objects. And one of them was haunted. And they wanted to see if the audience could tell which one was haunted. So they had everybody line up, everybody who wanted to participate in this experiment, had them line up, and one by one, the people would look at the object or pick it up or whatever and see if they could sense which one was haunted. So the first one was a little porcelain figurine of frogs in a conga line. Believe it or not. You know what a conga line is, right? So there's all these little frogs lined up. They were really cute. And they had said like a few crude comments about it, but that one to me felt nice and warm because there were a lot of people in front of me and they were picking it up and getting the heat. And I'm like, oh, this is nice and warm. It felt good. The second item was a little wooden cross. And as soon as I picked it up, I put it down. I was like, hell no. Hell no. Nope. And I moved right on to the next one. And it was a little doll. She was awful cute, She was dressed up in like old-fashioned lace clothes, and I picked her up. I'm like, oh, you're cute. And, smoothed her hair, put her back. And I went back to my seat. And I'm thinking, oh, damn, that cross was like, it just felt yucky. So they asked for a show of hands from the audience. How many people thought the porcelain figure was the haunted item? And like, I would say 90% of the people raised their hand. And I'm like, I'm looking around, there's all these people with their hands up. Then they said, well, how many of you think the second item is the haunted item? I put my hand right up. I looked around. Nobody else had their hand up. So I put my hand down real quick. I'm like,
oh, wow.
What the heck, right? So then they went, okay, how many of you think the doll is a haunted item? And, a few people raised their hands. So they said, well, the item that was a haunted item was the one that only one person put their hand up for. This little crucifix, it was just a little wooden crucifix. It was very primitive. Mm-hmm. And they said, this is the item that is haunted. It was used in over, I don't know how many exorcisms. And I'm sitting there going, ew, somebody cleanse me. Does anybody have some sage? Anybody got holy water? Hello? And it was like, I was the only one. There had to be like 40 people there. I was the only one. He wasn't around. He was taking a nap in the hotel room. But
no, I was there.
No, you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
No, you were in the hotel room.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Watching TV or taking a nap or something. But I was amazed that like nobody else picked up on it. Because the energy in this thing was so strong. Like I didn't want to hold it at all. I was like, hell no, put it right back down.
I just have to disagree with my wife. Jason balls and taps. Great order.
I didn't say they weren't. I'm just saying starting out, there was a lot of
Jason's
drama.
a good guy.
Jason's a good guy.
And he's a good man. And He's a
Very
good
nice.
person. He's a nice person.
He lives right in our town.
Yeah, I like him.
We see
Oh
him
my
in
God.
Not a
town.
lot, and
Yeah.
you know, there are some kind people. There's some really kind people.
There's some wonderful people in the paranormal.
Yeah.
Wonderful people.
And I can't say it's changed.
Great,
I've been
great
involved
people.
for 15 years,
Mhm.
but I have to tell you, it's all positive with me. You know, we've done some. There's a guy who set up he would set up conventions in Massachusetts. Sam, yeah.
Sam Baltrusis.
Sam Baltrusis.
Yeah.
Great guy. Great
Yeah.
guy.
He's an author.
Yep. And the guy whose dad was a hockey player.
Oh, Chris Fleming.
Chris Fleming.
Yeah.
He's an awesome guy.
He's a wonderful person.
He's a wonderful person.
Yeah.
I mean, there are all kinds of people in the paranormal. Like a woman who runs tours in New York, paranormal tours in New York City. There are people all over.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
You know, they're doing it for the love of it. We just have a new intern, Noah. What a great young person. I mean, he's really taken an interest in it, and that's where the future lies.
That's right.
You know, we're looking for young members.
Young
because
people.
Guys like me are getting old, and like Maggie says, I have to lay down sometimes. Like at the Shanley, you know, given my past, they didn't like you had one guy who was a serial killer. They could feel the spirit.
Mobsters.
They had all kinds of people there.
Yeah, a lot of dicey spirits there.
But the owner was friendly with Eleanor Roosevelt, and she has her own room there called the Roosevelt room.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It's a very awesome venue.
So
yeah, we want to go back next year, like make it like a yearly thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that'll be interesting, guys.
Some experiences than I have.
What does your community think about what you guys do?
No problem. No problem.
Do they?
No. There's one guy who's a councilman who does paranormal.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty well accepted here.
Okay.
I mean, our town, we have two very historic buildings in town, and they've both done ghost hunts, public ghost hunts. We do ghost hunts every month at the Paint House Museum. So people in the community see us doing this stuff, and they're fine with it.
The key is to be kind.
Yeah, I mean, we're respectful,
and see the world through their eyes.
And we're trying to, show them that it's not all like demons and monsters and scary stuff.
Right.
Most of it is about the history. To me, the paranormal makes the history come alive.
Mm-hmm.
You get more of a sense of these people and how they lived and how they died and how they felt. We do it to raise money for these places so that they can, continue to operate. So yeah, I mean, that's what I love about the paranormal. I love these people who are doing like these ghost tours and these buying these haunted properties and inviting people to come investigate, to preserve them. It's all about the preservation and the history.
And you have guys like Jeff Belanger who do public lectures, and Tom D'Agostino. He does.
And his wife, Dining with the Dead.
They have it at a restaurant.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I mean, for such a small state, we have like a very, very active paranormal community here.
What about Carl? Carl and his twin brother.
Oh, wow.
Keith Johnson. They were
the Johnson
on
brothers.
Ghost Hunters, and
yeah.
they do a lot.
And Keith's wife Sandra.
Yep. Keith and his wife Sandra have, well, they had a show on cable TV, and called
Interesting.
Mr. Near. So yeah, it's very. I mean, for a small state, it's pretty busy.
Come on out here. We'll show you a good time.
I would love to come, but
It's nice and cool out here now.
Oh,
yeah, I bet it is 110 degrees down here.
Oh, it was 74 today.
Yeah.
Oh
And
man,
dry. Oh,
that
beautiful,
sounds so.
beautiful.
And you
Open
would
up all the
like that.
windows, man, and just let that fresh air just go through the house. Oh man,
Oh yeah,
And let
it's
me tell you,
beautiful.
we even have a minister, Dr. August Rosado,
Oh yeah, in our group.
in our group.
He is an evangelical Baptist minister, Dr. August Rosado, today
Amazing.
in BibleProphecy.com. And he preaches on the end times, which I think is just fascinating.
Yeah.
And what he does is he takes the Bible and compares it to what's going on now. We talk about scary. Talk about scary.
He's done
Yeah.
trips to Israel. And
He goes to Israel. He's been to Israel, I don't know how many times. He's been to Greece. He's doing another tour to Greece. And he is a wonderful investigator. He's like the biggest equipment nerd. Like, he is the biggest equipment nerd. He loves equipment.
and his wife Patty's wonderful.
They're nice people.
And besides August, there's Melissa Olson. Our director has given her the nickname 99.
She's one of our researchers.
oh wow.
She's one
Like
of our,
Forget Smart, Agent
Yeah.
99.
I don't think he remembers
Oh,
that
you
show.
know, okay.
That's a really old show.
That's an old show. From the
Yeah.
60s.
Guys,
I'm sorry.
what would you think your parents would say if they knew what you guys were doing today? Would they be upset, or would they open, or would they be open up to you guys being a paranormal, investigators? How would they? What would they say, and how would they react towards that?
My dad was okay with it because he was, he's still alive when I was doing it, and I would talk to him about it.
Your grandmother.
And my mom passed away when I was pretty young. I was 25 when she passed. And she was very no nonsense. She would probably think I was crazy. Like my sister thinks I'm nuts because she doesn't believe in it. But then when I give her messages from the spirit world, she's, she knows what I'm telling her is true.
In your eyes, why do you think certain people just don't believe in life after death?
They've never experienced anything.
Right. They don't believe in a higher power.
What do you think your mom and dad would think?
My mom, no problem. My dad, no problem. They wouldn't care.
Yeah.
They wouldn't care.
See?
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm still a Catholic. I'm still active in my church. I'm a Eucharistic minister. I sing in the choir. I'm a lector. And I'm still active in the church.
I taught Sunday school for 7 years. I sing in the choir. I'm active in my church too. We're observant Catholics. So, yeah. I don't know what our pastor would say.
So does he know? Does he know?
We've had parishioners come to us for help.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
For their family,
No, we've done spiritual rescue.
Yeah.
We haven't done it lately because when you do that, sometimes you chase. Some people like to have the ghosts there, and some people make a living off the ghosts.
Yeah. Well.
So if we, and this has happened to us, when we have directed spirit into light, they leave. Most of the time they go back just to see what's going on and to pay a visit. Sometimes they don't. And that's the problem. When they don't, it makes it tough to
Mhm.
advertise yourself as a paranormal hotspot if you don't have ghosts. And we do spirit rescue.
Yeah. So, a lot of places you go to and they'll say, no clearing ghosts, no, doing
Mhm.
any of that.
We do that for
So
private homes.
private homes mostly,
You
but
know,
we haven't had a whole lot since the pandemic.
not not many at all.
Yeah, we've had some,
We've
but
had
not
some,
many,
but not
not as
many
many as before the pandemic.
before the
Now people
pandemic.
are very um,
They pray.
particular about who they let in.
They pray more.
Yeah, maybe they do pray
There's a lot
more,
more
Hmm.
praying.
you know.
A lot more. A lot
Do
more
you
concern.
do now? Do you guys think prayer would help you in a ghostly situation?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh yeah.
It has.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
wow!
Yeah.
why
Yeah. It has. It
why
works.
it
Prayer.
works.
If you believe,
Prayer
I don't care
works.
who you believe in. I don't. As long as you have a higher power that you believe in,
Mm-hmm.
that
And
helps.
you're a good
And
person.
you're a good
And
person.
you love other people
Yeah.
and you care about other people and you do good deeds. That's all that matters,
Yeah. Like
really.
like I have a
But
coworker.
everything that you guys mentioned, of all that positive power that you guys just mentioned, I
Hmm.
mean, it's really hard to see that nowadays. I mean, the world is so fast. I mean, it is nonstop.
Well, yeah.
And it seems like a lot of people today don't stop to take a breath. They don't stop to take a deep breath because they're afraid that they might miss something. And, every now and then you have to stop and just look up and just see what's around you, even if it's just for a moment.
Say thank you, God.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it's
Yeah.
just for a moment, sometimes you just got to bring that level down to take that deep breath and just realize, man, what's going on around you.
I
And,
take a deep breath and say I'm lucky to be here.
huh?
I take a deep breath and I say thank God I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, you have
Another
to.
day.
Because, I mean, when he was 55, he almost died. So, you got that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
As you get older, you become more grateful. But I see a lot of young people that are embracing spirituality. At least it's spirituality. Some we see an increase. We've seen an increase lately in our parish with young families coming with several children, and we hadn't seen that in a very long time.
And I don't
So I'm
care what
hoping that this is a trend. I
I don't care what
mean,
church they belong to. I don't care. I
yeah,
really don't.
but
As
it's
long as
nice to
they
see him in ours.
yes. But
you
there,
know,
there are kids that go to
yeah.
non-denominational
I mean,
churches, and
it's
that's cool because at least they
believe in
they believe
something.
in they believe in something.
They believe in something.
Something
It's a
bigger than
start.
they are.
It's a start. Anyway, but yeah. Okay, so let me tell you this. So one night I came home. This was really weird. I had been at a Christmas party in a Chinese restaurant. I'm not going to say where, but it was in Rhode Island. And I came out of the ladies' room, and there was this statue, and it was like this hideous statue. And I thought, why would somebody put a statue like that, like outside the ladies' room? You walk out, and it's like, oh my goodness. And and then I said goodbye to everybody, and I'm driving home, and I noticed the street lights are going off as I pass by them.
Hmm.
Well, then I got on the highway, and I'm too busy watching the road to notice the street lights. Get off the highway, same thing. Street lights are going off. I'm like, what is going on here? Like I only had 2 beers, so I wasn't buzzed or drunk or I've been eating food, and so so I get home, and I'm getting into my pajamas, and I see in the upper corner of my bedroom, I see an imp. Okay, up in the okay, and it looks like a gargoyle. Okay, it's got the claws and the teeth and the spiky ears, and it's just sitting there looking at me, and I was petrified. I was so afraid. I'm not going to say I wasn't. And I said, Archangel Michael, rescue me from this evil spirit, take it away. And then all of a sudden, I saw all these different colored points of light, all in my vision. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, my retina's detaching or something's happening to me because there's all these lights. And then all of a sudden they're gone. And I look up in the corner and the imp was gone.
Oh, wow.
So you can't tell me that praying or asking for assistance from the angels doesn't work, because it did for me. I mean,
it does for me. It definitely does for me.
oh, definitely.
Jesus
definitely.
and God.
Yep. And the
Jesus,
angels
yeah,
and
the angels.
yeah.
You know, let's talk about your gifts for a minute. Because you mentioned, Margaret, when you receive a message, how often do you get messages from loved ones that are no longer here? And and what would be the message? And what would be some of the messages that they tell you?
Well, let's see. Dave and I had gone up to Camp Etna in Maine, which is a spiritualist camp. I had heard about it from my friend Joni Mann, who's an author. She had gone up there with some friends and stayed there. They let you stay there overnight, and it's kind of a cool place. It's way out, right?
Way out in Maine.
Way out in Maine. Beautiful place. There's a beautiful lake. There's a beautiful lake and
woods,
trails and woods and these cute little cottages that the mediums
really nice.
that the mediums own. There's a chapel. There's a community kitchen in place, a dining area, and there's guest rooms. So we stayed in one of the guest rooms, and the first night we were there. Well, the first day we were there, we took a class, right?
Yeah, we did.
We did. We took a mediumship class. It was pretty interesting. And then that night after dinner, there was a table tipping exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never participated in that, but I said, you know what, let me give it a try. So I went, and there were a bunch of people there. And there was someone from, that association, the Spiritualist Association, that was doing the channeling, and the table, like, it got up and walked across the room.
Oh, wow.
And we're all standing there just with our hands resting, just like this, like not grabbing, not, we were just like this. And the table like went right across the room. It was the craziest thing. And we went around the table. See, she would ask, who's here? Who are you connecting with? And the table would tip towards the person that it wanted to connect with. So at one point, it tipped towards me. And she said, who do you think is here? And I said, I think it's my mother. Because my mother was, would leave me dimes. And I said, are you the one leaving me dimes? And the table tipped towards me. And every time the table would tip towards me, by the end of the session, I was a wet mess. I was crying, I was messy, Kleenex, and it was not pretty, but like she was there. It was like physical. And so that night, after that, I walked back to our little room and told Dave what happened. I fell asleep. And the next morning, we had to leave. And part of your agreement to stay there was when you were done, you would strip the bed and just pile the dirty linens or the linens in the corner. So I stripped the bed, and there's a dime sitting right there in the bed,
Hmm.
in the bed. And I'm like, okay, that's my mother. Like, she left me dimes. And I said, okay, Mom, what do you got to say? And she said, tell your sister that I am so happy that she finally found someone that, makes her happy. Now, my sister dated a lot of guys. Dated a lot of guys, was married a couple of times, and it gave my mother a lot of stress. But my mother said she was happy that my sister had finally found someone. She'd been with this guy a while. He was a really nice guy. And my mother said, tell your sister. And I'm like, I'm going to tell my sister. Like, she doesn't believe in this. She's going to laugh at me. So I'm like, screw it. So, excuse my French. So we were at a family cookout a couple weeks later. I'm sitting next to my sister, and I turned to her and I said, so Dave and I went up to this place in Etna, Maine, blah, blah, blah. It was really beautiful and scenic. It was like a camp. And I said, oh, by the way, I said, Mom wanted me to tell you that she's really glad you found someone that finally makes you happy. And she looked at me and her eyes filled up with tears. I thought
Oh.
I thought she was gonna lose it. I thought she was gonna cry. Now, this
Hmm.
is somebody that does not believe in any of this. And I thought she was just going to cry because,
Yeah, and and that's what I don't understand is, and it's really hard. And as much as I try to explain to people, is you have to believe in something. If you don't believe in life after death, then I think that your life will be, I'm not going to say difficult, but you have to have that thought in the back of your mind constant. It's a constant thing, because you're born and you have to die. A lot of people don't think about it, but as you get older in age, I see myself thinking about it a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it's just one of those things. I know it's gonna come, and I have to prepare myself for it. But a lot of people today don't think about it. They just live their life, and I don't know. I mean, this world it's all flipping upside down. It's not like what it used to be. In my opinion, it's just fast. I mentioned that twice already how fast this world is. But people just don't believe in certain things. As much evidence that we, as paranormal investigators, have, put out there, people still don't believe that there is something else out there besides what's going on in the world today. There's a bigger picture. There's something way bigger than what's going on this planet. And a lot of and it's weird because to me, I'm thinking this basic common sense. But today a lot of people, that's something a lot of people just don't have. I don't know, man. It's just it's mind boggling to me. As much as I discuss what I do with my kids, and I tell them all the time, man, never leave a stone unturned. If you see a stone and if you're curious about it, flip it over.
Right.
See what it's about, because you never know.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I always tell my kids, you know, be an open book. You know, just take a minute just to think about something, the possibilities of this and that going on. It's a lot closer than what you think. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. And it I don't know. This world is something else, you know. Uh,
You
and
have
I can't blame anybody, you know, but it is
you
what it is.
brother, all you have to do is just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing and block out the negative stuff. Block out what's happening with in the Middle East. Block it out because there's nothing you can do about it anyways.
Right.
There's nothing we can do about it. The world the thing is what I find is that there's less kindness. People used to be a lot more kind to each other, but now it's just going. I mean, you know, it's just sad to see. It's sad to see when we were growing up. When we were growing up, people cared for each other. Our
Yeah.
neighbors, we knew our neighbors. We could leave our doors unlocked and feel safe. Now it's almost like you have to put uh, uh,
Bars.
bars on your windows.
Well, it hasn't gone to that
Not
point
here,
but
in the
but
city,
in LA,
in the city,
when we were in LA, oh yeah,
even
yep, in the
Providence, man.
city and
Even
Providence, yeah, we saw some.
Boston, New Haven,
Boston, yeah, in the big cities.
New York City.
You know,
It's but in the countryside, it's none of that. It's like
Yeah.
it's like it used to be, like in the Hudson Valley.
Oh, it's beautiful out
I mean,
there.
people are so regular.
Oh, yeah.
People
People
are
are so
nice.
nice. We met so many great people out there.
You met South Koreans.
Very.
Evangelist South Koreans.
So on the way back, we stopped. There was like one of those scenic view things, and you pull off the road. We were going up this mountain, and there was a pull off. So we pulled off over there, and there's a parking area, and there's a place where you can take pictures and stuff. So we're over there taking pictures, and there was a group of Asian people. And they came over and they're like, "Oh, let's take pictures." And they're posing with us and we're taking pictures and we're having a great time. We're laughing. Well, come to find out that they are an evangelical group from South Korea. And they are spending 6 months in USA and in Canada. And they're preaching about God, and they had these really cool bracelets, and they were wonderful people. And so we're like, "Oh, you're an evangelistic minister? We have one too. This is August," right? So here we are in the middle of a parking lot in the Hudson Valley where we've never been before, and this beautiful scenic overlook with this group of South Koreans, and we're all praying together. Like, how bizarre is that? But it was just like, I said, this is like God brought us all together, you know? So August said a prayer, and then their minister said a prayer, and we were all standing there holding hands, praying together and laughing. And it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
So that was like one of the best things about this trip were the people that we met.
Yeah.
Along the way, that were like just wonderful.
And I think we have so much success at working in spirit is because we never incite them. We
don't provoke.
We do not provoke.
No.
We take the kind approach to working with them. And if anyone does provoke,
bye.
Yeah.
We said bye.
Or we just tell them, we don't do that. We just don't. I mean, we get excited when we get interactions and stuff, And we react sometimes. We're like, oh wow, this is wild, but we're happy because we're happy. Not we don't provoke.
Okay. Got a question for you. What is your ultimate goal as paranormal investigators?
Oh, that's a toughie.
What's my ultimate goal?
What's your ultimate goal?
A situation where the living can feel comfortable in their surroundings. Like if it's a new house that they're building and we find that there's something on the property.
Oh, so
Or if in the hotel, we connected. There was a connection there.
Mhm.
With me, it was maybe 5 seconds with a serial killer when I went to bed because I didn't want to provoke him. That was the whole point of that exercise. I did not want to provoke him.
Okay, but so is your goal to help people?
My goal is to help people and to help spirit.
There you go.
That's my goal because some spirits have done tremendous harm to others and they aren't allowed anywhere. But from my former profession, I learned that everyone deserves a second chance, even people who have done terrible things. So what I try to do is just calm them down, talk to them, and treat them like an individual with respect, not a criminal.
So we're not only
Somebody
helping
bad,
the living, but we're also helping the spirits that we come in
That's right.
contact with of the non-living. Because really, there are two realities. There's the physical reality, and there's a spiritual reality.
Mm-hmm.
And when they intersect, it can be very shocking.
Mhm.
And
Right.
and it does happen quite frequently, and I think it's happening more and more frequently. Um, and Dave's right. Our goal is to help people understand and to deal with it, and to also help the non-breathers to either move on or accept their situation or help them in some way to find peace.
Now, if I was to knock on your door right now and I would ask to take your hand and I was asked to take David's hand and we would just go for a walk, and I was to say, guys, I am going to tell you and show you everything that you've ever wanted to know about parapsychology. Everything you want to know about the spirit world. And I put all that knowledge into you guys. And you share this knowledge with the world. Will that be enough for you to retire, or would you want to continue with the journey?
Well, one thing is, I don't think anybody can know everything about the paranormal. It's something that the more you learn, the more you want to learn, the more you question things. It's like it's kind of an ongoing thing. You can never learn everything about it. There are no experts. There is new stuff coming up all the time, whether it be about ghosts or UFOs or cryptids or whatever. I but no, I have no intention of stopping until I can't do it anymore. I mean, most of the members of our group are older people. They're in their 60s or above.
Mhm.
We have, we've added on some younger members, and we're, training them and getting them, trained up. And for the most part, they are. Because we realize we're not going to be able to physically do this forever.
Mm-hmm.
Usually what happens is people stop doing the investigation part, and then they start writing books about it. Um, but I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing it until I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I'm in
And
the same.
it doesn't matter how much I learn because there's always more to learn.
Always more.
In my case, I would take that walk with you, and I'd come back and I would use what you taught me to help others.
Right.
And the other thing is, my knees were acting up this last trip, and it was tough getting up those stairs, those old hotel stairs that from this place was built like in the 1840s. You go up these stairs and then you go to these rooms, and there's rooms after rooms. It's exhausting. It can be exhausting, but even though it's exhausting, I'm good. I'm good until from 7 to 9. After 9, it gets difficult. So I try to do.
So look, it's 9:01. He's going to need to go to bed very soon.
Come on, Dave. It's the weekend, man.
Oh man, I know, but we're gonna do some partying tomorrow night.
Well, I hope so.
There's gonna be.
Oh my God.
There's gonna be a party at the Old Theater Diner.
A luau at one of our
Oh wow.
a luau party at one of our local our local restaurants. So we're like,
Well, that
that's
sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
the owner, he's a nice guy.
We'll go there.
Him and his twin brother, they're great people.
We'll go there. We'll go there for 2 hours and then say, time to go home.
Okay, yeah, we'll dance. We'll party, we'll eat. They're having a buffet.
As long as we're home by 9:30.
9:30.
And then we'll crash.
There you go. Guys, on your investigations, how often do you... Okay, let's back up. What is the one thing that's universal? No, what is the one thing that's universal? Everybody listens to it. One thing everybody can agree with.
Okay.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
I use the dowsing rods. I have dowsing rods, thanks to Maggie, that I can use, and Spirit responds to it. But I also have an SLS camera. So, I mean, it's like a duality. I have the old school stuff, and then I have the new school stuff.
Okay. What I mean is, music is universal.
Right.
Yes.
Everybody can. So, how often do you guys play music on your investigations?
Oh, I sing.
He sings, and we do. We play music pretty often.
I sing to the spirits.
Yeah, but we've also played music on our phones from our phones.
They respond.
Yeah, they do respond quite a bit.
It's unbelievable. I was in a retirement home one day, and we were in the ballroom. Dude, this ballroom was so beautiful. It had the black and white. I mean, it looked like something back in the future. I mean, it looked like it was clearly you can have a good pep rally or a psychop. I don't know if you guys know what a psychop is.
Yeah.
Where it was so beautiful. And I'm like, dude, they're about to tear this thing down. And look how beautiful the floor is. Wow. And so something hit me. Hey, let's play some music. I put on some Little Richard.
Oh, yeah.
I put on some Little Richard, and believe it or not, man, guys, the place came alive.
Yeah.
It came alive, and I walked outside the ballroom. I walked outside to the courtyard, and I heard this whisper in my voice. I heard this whisper in my ear, and I knew it wasn't me. And they were singing "Good Golly Miss Molly."
Yep.
And I turned around, and I'm like, "Who said that?"
I had a similar
There was nobody there. And that's the song we were singing in the ballroom. That were playing in the ballroom. I'm like, wow.
I had a similar experience at in Fairhaven, Massachusetts. What was it? Fairhaven, Massachusetts? Last year when we went to that
conference
for that place where that was a daycare.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I started
Yeah.
singing.
It was a home for children.
Yeah. I started singing "Puff the Magic Dragon." Puff the
Oh, that
Magic
was at the George Hale Library.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my
and,
God.
And we were using the SLS
you could
camera.
see him
It was
dancing
in
all over
it was
little
in the
kids.
children's section, and we were getting the stick figures dancing around as we were singing. It was kind of cool.
Boy, that bring back.
Yeah, they do.
They do stuff like that.
They do.
Oh, golly, Miss Martin.
Puff the Magic Dragon. I have not heard that in years.
Well, you know, they were kids. What kids like kids songs, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
little kids. You know?
One night we were at the Payne House Museum, and myself and another investigator were in the schoolroom, and we're trying to engage with a child spirit named Cora, who has been experienced there. So the other woman says, "Oh, do you know London Bridge is falling down?" So she and I start singing "London Bridge is Falling Down" pretty badly. And so we sing the first verse, and she said, "Okay, now you sing the second verse." And we were quiet. We didn't hear anything at the time, but when I played my recording back, you can very faintly hear after she says, "Now you sing the second verse," you can hear a little voice going,
Oh, wow.
it's very, very soft. And I'm thinking, okay, Dave and another investigator, Cindy, were upstairs on the second floor. If they could hear us singing, I thought it was them making fun of us. So I played it for Dave. I said, "Dave, listen to this." And he heard it, and I said, "Was that you? Was that you and Cindy making fun of us?" And he said, "No." He said, "We didn't even hear you. We were on the other side of the house on the second floor. We were nowhere near you guys." So yeah, they do.
How about the Warren Library when we were in the basement?
Yeah, the George Hale Library.
Yes.
That's what I was talking about.
Do you remember the man behind me? I was singing a John Lennon song about. I was playing it about sailing over the seas with his son.
Okay.
That song that he sings about it with.
Oh, Beautiful Boy.
Beautiful Boy.
Yeah.
I played Beautiful Boy, and the spirit, she didn't pick up on it right away, was standing behind me.
There was nothing behind him but a brick wall, but I was looking at him, and I saw this face of an elderly gentleman actually come out of the wall.
Oh, wow.
Next to his face. And I went to grab my phone to take a picture, and it was gone.
Yeah, they have a tendency not to mess around.
Since I saw you, we went to a cemetery, and I actually saw two ghosts. There was in the cemetery. There was a child's. We're going.
It was a child section.
You can explain.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You can explain. And what happened was, they were in front of Melissa, Investigator 99. They were in front of Melissa, but Melissa didn't see them, but I could. And they did. A ghost is like it's like a sign, like a two-dimensional picture. And she and her husband were walking, but they were like cardboard cut-ups.
Yeah, they were two-dimensional. They were like flat. It was the strangest thing. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I got a picture of it. So
now, do you guys believe? And I'm just going to throw this question out there. Do you guys believe there's politics in heaven?
I hope not.
Because for some reason, and I've experienced this, if you ask a very specific question, and they won't give you an answer, but you have communicate. There's certain questions they can ask, certain questions that they can't, they can't tell you. So I'm thinking that there is something or someone that you can only say so much about what's going on up there. Uh, that's why I asked: is there some kind of rules and regulations that you can't tell the living uh, about certain things? Because I've asked, I can't help but ask. I'm human. I asked a million questions. What it looks like. Uh, do you feel the wind in your hair? Are there roses? What is it, day or night? There are so many questions you can ask people from the other side, and it seems like you can only get a certain type of answer. So either someone is telling you that you can't answer the questions, or there's rules saying that you can't answer those type of questions.
Okay,
What do
okay,
you guys think?
okay. What's Ashley's last name?
Finji.
Ashley. I saw a woman called Ashley Vinci last week, and
Akashic reading.
she did an Akashic reading, which is basically a book of knowledge on your life. And she told me that whatever I did in the past, forget it. It's in the here and now, in what you've accomplished in your life, how much you've helped people, what you have done, what you are doing. And that goes along with my near death experience. When I died, I went through a series of 3 veils. At the third veil was a field of yellow, almost sunflowers. It was so bright. The sky was blue, and the ground was filled with these yellow flowers. In the distance, I could see a weeping willow and a white bench. And on the white bench, I saw an angel. And how did I know it was an angel? Because I saw the wings. So I was levitated over to that spot. I sat on the bench. There's a stream, not a river, just a stream, a calm stream of water flowing. And the angel puts his arms around me, or his wing. His, I don't know, he put his wing around me, and I started crying. And saying, I'm so sorry. And for anything I've done wrong in my life, I am sorry. I am really sorry. And it was so peaceful. He said, Dave, he says, you have to go back. You have unfinished business. So I've swung my life around 100 degrees, and that impression is still with me to this day. And I feel that if I'm a good person, I will go back and I'll go to heaven, because there is nothing more beautiful than heaven, brother. I mean, it is gorgeous. And I woke up to Maggie telling, or the nurse telling me, do you want ice chips? Have some ice chips. Please have some ice chips. See, what happened was I needed a quadruple bypass because my arteries were clogged. And what happened during and I spoke to my parish priest about it, and he gave me the blessing of the ill. And this was about 2 weeks before the investigation. And in that 2 weeks, my heart grew an artery. You remember Dr. Finkelton saying that?
Yeah.
And he didn't see it that often.
No, but it does happen.
It does happen, but he doesn't see it that often. And the growth of that artery saved my life. So it just wasn't my time to die. And that's what I've done is work with kids ever since. I decided, it took me a couple of years to get my act together. But I figured out it was about family, my wife, my son, and myself. And for the things that I've done wrong, I still have to forgive myself in order to pass. And that's what I'm doing. I'm forgiving myself. And that's hard to do, man. When you've done some terrible things in your life, that's a hard thing to do. But I'm doing it.
So to answer your question, one of the ladies in our group had recently lost her mother, and they had to sell her mother's house. Beautiful, beautiful place. And so she was closing up the house for the last time, and she had her recorder with her, as she always does. And she said, Mom, she says, I'm closing the house up for the last time. People have bought it. I have one question. What is it like for you on the other side? And so she stopped the recorder. She played it back, and she heard her mother's voice say, I'm like a bird. And when that played, a shadow of a bird flew over, and she looked up and there were no birds. And her mother said, she wanted to know what it's like on the other side. And her mother said, I'm like a bird. So to me, that means she's just free. She's just free,
That's what you have to look forward to.
Yeah, just being free like a bird.
Interesting.
So, but I know what you mean about asking those questions, and they don't seem to want to answer.
No, they don't. It's
like a big secret. Like you'll find out when you get here.
And that's and whenever I don't get a reply, that is the first question that I say to myself is what you just said. Well, maybe I'll find out when I get there. But as me, as a human being, and I'm a very curious individual, I see myself, even though I tell myself not to ask those questions, because I keep the same answer keeps coming up. Well, you'll figure it out when you get there. But somehow, some way, I keep seeming to be asking myself the same question over and over and over, and I ask the spirits over and over again. So it's pretty much, I'm hoping maybe I'll get a different answer on the question that I'm asking, but like 98% of the time, I end up answering the question for myself. I'll see when I get there. And and I don't know if it's just me that I want, because I really want to know.
Everybody does.
Well, that's a big question. Does. Like what happens to us when we die? We just go to another reality. I think we just go to another reality. We go from the physical reality to a spiritual reality. And I think that our faith determines what that reality is going to be. Just like in the physical world, everybody has their own perception of things. Like you see things different than I do. He sees things different than you do. Like we all see things.
I see things different than you do.
We all see things differently. We all have our own perception. I think it's the same way in the spiritual reality, where we're going to see things differently, but we can kind of live with those differences and be one. Those differences are kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that I think everybody that really wants to know is, the big question is, will family be there?
Yes.
Will family be there when it's my time?
If you believe they're going to be there, they will be there.
They will be there.
If you believe it. Because
that's
going to be your reality. That's your reality. Like I believe I'm going to see my mother and father and my grandparents and my, in-laws and everybody, because that's what I believe. That's what I think that spiritual reality is going to be. I believe I'm going to see Jesus. because I believe in Jesus. I believe I'm going to see Jesus. I believe I'm going to see God. I believe I'm going to see the Holy Spirit because that's my belief system and that's my reality. It might not be it. You know, my Jewish friends, they don't have the same perception, but when
Mhm.
they get to the other side, they're going to see their reality. They're going to see what they believe in, what they perceive to be real, but it's a spiritual reality. We're going to be in spirit. We're not going to be in physical body. We're going to be in spirit body, which is way better. And we're not, our differences aren't going to matter anymore.
Right.
They're not like
That's
they do in the spirit world. I mean, in this physical world, like sometimes I just sit and I say, okay, this is real. This desk is real. This glass is real. These glasses are real. This computer, it's real. Like I can touch it. I can see it.
mhm.
I know it's here. Okay, this is a physical reality, but there's also spiritual reality that we can't see that is going on at the same time. We just can't see it. It's not
Yeah.
our reality because we're in the physical one, and the deceased people are in the spiritual reality.
Yeah. And I always ask people why spirits and ghosts never do the right thing. It always seems they do something a little unusual to get your attention. Like for an example, that cup that you had, they might to get your attention, they might slide the cup off the floor and it might hit the ground. Or they might leave the cabinet doors open, or they'll do something a little weird to get your attention. But the one thing I've never seen a spirit do is the right thing to get your attention. I mean, you've never seen them fold the clothes. You never see them do the dishes. You know, and you never see them uh, sweeping up the trash. Hey, man, I'm not saying, Margaret, if you knock the glass off the table, why not sweep it up? It's your mess, right? But you
Right,
never see them do that.
right,
How is that they always do some of the weirdest things to get your attention, but they don't never do some of the most logical things to get your attention?
right.
It
Yeah.
that is one of the biggest mysteries. I don't think I can't figure out.
Well, in one of her books, I think it's the first House of Darkness, House of Light book that Andrea Perrin wrote. She describes seeing a broom moving by itself, sweeping up the kitchen floor. That got her attention.
Oh, I bet it did.
Yeah, yep. Like it was the woman in the house sweeping up the kitchen floor. Um, that same, well, I don't know if it was the same spirit, but they also had a spirit that would, when the girls were in bed, her and her sisters, the spirit would make sure that they were covered with the blankets, that they were safe, they were warm, they were, I guess it depends on the spirit and how much energy they have. If they don't have the energy to fold the laundry, they're not going to fold it. If they don't have the energy to sweep the floor, they're not going to sweep the floor.
But if I need energy, and this might sound silly, but heck, if I need energy that bad, heck, I'll stick my hand in the light socket. I'll get some energy. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like they want to communicate. They want to, you know, be there with you, but the lack of energy sometimes slows them down. But then there are some very powerful spirits out there. And I don't know if they're just angry or either they were powerful in life, but I mean, there's some spirits out there that can do some unbelievable things.
Oh yeah.
I can't figure out where they get the energy from.
Anger, rage. They died and they were angry and they're still angry, and they've got this pent up rage within them that's been stored up for a long time, and somebody comes along and they're going to let them have it, especially if they don't want their space invaded. I mean, our founder, Andy Laird, and he's our director. He's like 6'9". I mean, this guy's a big guy.
Oh, you're a big guy.
He's a very big guy, and he's lost quite a lot of weight. But back when he was, younger, he had quite a bit of weight on him too. And he and another investigator were in the basement of a deserted training school, and the two of them were in this basement. They had a recorder going, and they were just talking. And they were, of all things, they were talking about cookies and milk. Should you dump the cookie in the milk, or should you eat the cookie separate from the milk? And on the recording in the background, you can hear a voice saying, "Get out."
Oh,
get out. And it was getting louder and angrier, and they weren't hearing it, but the recorder was picking it up. And all of a sudden, what broke loose. Andy was picked up and thrown across the room by something unseen. Now, this is a 6'9" guy who is probably 300 plus pounds. And him and the other guy got beat up so bad. And they ran out of the place. And, they got outside and they're bleeding, they're cut, and they're bruised. And they're like, what are we going to do? We can't go to the hospital and say, they're going to want to know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to say? We got our butts kicked by a ghost, So, I mean, yeah, they can, if they're angry enough, they get that stored up rage. Yeah, they can definitely let loose on you.
They definitely can. Guys, what do you guys, Dave? This question is for you because you mentioned it earlier. What exactly do you think about cemeteries? Do you think there is just a place where you go just to rest, or do you really think there's something going on there?
There's something going on there.
I agree. I agree with you on that one.
There's something going on there. I can't figure it out, because normally when someone dies, they go to heaven. There's either an angel or some escort for them to go to heaven. Why that happens with some people and it doesn't with others, I don't understand. Because I believe there's a place for everyone in the universe. I mean, that's a big universe, and we're like little balls of energy. So the question in my mind is, how come some people are accepted to the homeland and some people aren't?
And why would somebody want to hang out in a cemetery? Like,
right.
After I die, I'm not going to hang out in a cemetery.
Unless they have unfinished
I'm going to go to like Cabo or someplace, Yeah, I'm not going to hang out in a cemetery. I'm going to go to Hawaii. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii. I'll go to Hawaii,
Let's just go. Hey, why not, man? I mean,
I think a lot of it has to do with unfinished business. Do they feel that there's something left to do here that they didn't accomplish? That's a possibility in my mind. Why some people linger in a cemetery and others just move out, like Maggie did. Mm-hmm. Like Maggie says, she'll go to Hawaii. You can go anywhere you want to. I prefer going to Italy and eating food, but an angel, I don't think a spirit can't eat food.
I don't think you can eat food
But
that we know of. That
never
we
know.
you know, you don't
never
know.
know.
You know,
never
we don't
know.
know. We don't know. And it's
We don't know.
you know, and you know, I was watching this thing on UFOs when we have in-laws in Oklahoma City, and not Oklahoma, Stillwater, Oklahoma, and they are wonderful, wonderful people. But on the flight back or the flight down?
No, it was the flight too, because
Flight two.
Because we were telling them about it when we got there.
Yeah, I saw this huge tic tac. That's how it's described by the military. It's this huge cylinder with no wings, no propulsion seam, and it flew. First, it was flying alongside the airplane. I said, Maggie, is this a UFO? And then the thing just went, and you know, I don't know how fast the jet was going. I don't know how fast jets go. All I can say is the thing was keeping up with us. And it was like a huge white cylinder, like you'd see, at someone's house, a propane tank. It was just like a propane tank, only a lot bigger, like 10 times bigger. And the thing was floating, was just no propulsion, no nothing. I couldn't figure out what the hell was doing it. And then I'm looking at this UFO program, and they were talking about these objects are called Tic Tacs. And it's like, who's making them? And nobody knows.
Oh wow, yeah, you got a point there. Yeah, got a point there.
We don't know where those come from either.
There's a lot of mysteries of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I do know one thing. There is a heaven. That I do know. And I'm looking.
We can look forward to that.
I'm just.
Oh yeah.
You always have to work towards it.
Yeah. Guys, we have been on talking for an hour and 30 minutes.
Oh man.
Time flies when you're having a good conversation.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I could learn so much from you guys. It's just unbelievable. I'm just sucking it all in, you know.
Well, you brought up some really good questions.
Yeah, you were good.
Really good points. Yeah. I mean, we're learning from you too.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you guys coming on the show, talking to me, giving me knowledge. I really do. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it, but I thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? With that being said, any closing remarks that you guys would like to have said here, please, the floor is yours.
Well, I just want, whoever's listening, if you're thinking of going on like a paranormal investigation or something, definitely look into local groups that are doing, like what we do at the Paint House Museum, and look into taking one of those, because they're doing good work, trying to preserve these properties, these historic properties, because we need to learn about history, and just stay respectful, and keep ghost hunting.
Yes, sir. One more question before I get you guys out of here. And this is a hard one, Maggie. Dave, I want you to think about this for a moment too, okay? You guys ready?
Yeah.
Where would you like to go on your bucket list? Anywhere in the world.
Easy. That's the easiest question, because I've been saying this forever. I want to go to Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. Interesting. Why Alcatraz?
Because my sister, the non-believer, went there on a guided tour. She took like the self-guided tour with the headphones, and just a daytime tour, not a ghost tour, just a regular tour, because she was on vacation up there, and she said it was creepy. Now, if she says it's creepy and she's a non-believer, it's going to be really creepy.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I want to go there.
All right, Dave, where would you like to go, brother?
Where would I like to go? I'd like to go to Tahiti or to Hawaii. Tropical breezes, nice water, and great bars.
It sounds like you want to go to the Caribbean.
We
No,
have we
he
have been
he wants to go to the South Pacific,
South
like
Pacific,
Hawaii, Tahiti, that area. Yeah,
Oh,
Japan.
so Polynesian islands.
yeah,
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
that's really out of the way.
yeah.
They have they Hawaii is very haunted,
Oh, definitely.
so I definitely want to go
Yeah.
ghost hunting there too.
Can
Yeah.
you imagine? I've actually tried to reach out to a couple of teens in Hawaii, man, and ooh, it's really tough.
It's off the
Mhm.
charts.
Yeah.
You know, I reached out to a couple of teens in Alaska because they have the Alaska Triangle up there,
Oh
and
yeah.
man, there's a lot of activity going on up there, but it's really tough.
It,
Getting hold of somebody up there.
and the
Yeah.
world's getting meaner. See, that's why I try to preach love and peace, because the world is getting, how can I say it? The places you can go, it's almost like you're in a jail now, because there are only certain places I can go and feel safe. I'd love to go to Italy, but Italy last summer, where I where my family came from, was Sicily wasn't was unbelievable. People were getting knocked off and murdered and having their pocketbooks stolen and all that stuff.
Oh
And
wow.
it's the same thing in France. I mean, it's all over except Scotland. They're
Well,
tough. They're tough.
you know,
Scotland.
I guess the best place to go, man. Heck,
Where do you want to go?
I will. Where I would like to go is I would like to go to France, but I
Yes.
would also like to go to Normandy Beach.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, I told you that. You don't want to see Normandy Beach. I do.
Mhm.
It's wonderful.
Normandy Beach it has to be a paranormal hotspot.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
those
why she
people
doesn't
who
want to go.
died.
Those
Yeah.
kids, 18, 19, 20 years old, probably hate to say it, but most of them, hell, didn't even have puberty yet, and they're
No.
on the boat going to fight
No,
for their country.
some of
Right.
them was 17.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, kids.
Yeah. Young kids. Yeah. Yeah. That would be a very active place, I would think.
And the bunkers where the Germans were at. Can you imagine? I can imagine just sitting on the beach and just hearing that residual energy, the gunfire, the bombs going off, the people screaming and yelling. You don't even have to have a device. You could probably hear that with your ears because
Feel it.
it's so active down there, but that would definitely be a place that I would like to go. And once I get into France, I would love to hit a concentration camp. I gotta bring me a bunch of
Oh, yeah.
tissues because can you imagine the heartache and the sorrow that everybody felt in those locations?
Terrible.
It's unbelievable.
Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to
In,
go
in
there.
Maine, she didn't want to go to the 9/11 exhibit. My cousin, like a relative of mine, died in one of the twin towers, and I get a notice every year, at least twice a year, from the memorial people there, and she just can't make it, and I don't want to go by myself. You know.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you guys remember what happened in Waco
Oh
Oh yeah.
yeah,
couple
yes,
about
the
20
video.
years
The Branch
ago.
Davidian.
Oh
Yeah, the
yeah,
Branch Davidian compound.
Yeah.
yeah,
The compound is not there, but the foundation is still there. The people, the Branch Davidians are still there. They own the property,
Wow.
but the compound has long been since knocked down. And you talking about some weird people,
Oh yeah.
but I would love to get on there and just feel the energy
Yeah.
where the compound was, and just see what that energy feels like. I mean,
There's probably a lot.
oh yeah, I can imagine what that would be. Uh, there's a couple other places here in Texas that's a couple. The Pepsi Museum, from what I hear, is really haunted.
Is that right?
Uh, there's a lot of artifacts in that place, which I don't know why a Pepsi Museum would be haunted, but allegedly it is. It's probably one of the most haunted locations in Waco. Uh,
Attachment to objects.
yeah, I'm thinking it might be a bunch of haunted objects. I don't know. I've
Or
never
could
been
be
there. I
what
want to
was
go there.
could be what was there before.
Yeah, but I
You
don't
can
know.
go and let us know.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to. You know what? And I'm always traveling through Waco for something. I just never took the time just to stop.
Well, check out the site that was bombed too.
Yes, somebody in the chat said it could be the land as well.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
land too. She said.
The building,
Irene said.
the
Yeah.
building that was bombed, there was a daycare center there, and a lot of kids died there.
Or Oklahoma City. Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City bombing.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
drove by there when we were there. It
Did
was-
they ever replace the building, or they just demolished it?
they just demolished it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
demolished
Yeah, because I've been to Oklahoma City, but I never stopped there either.
Hey, you
Yeah, I mean,
gotta-
I've been to so many
Yeah,
places.
brother. You gotta go by there.
Yeah.
And you
I
gotta
think
check
they
out the Cowboy
demolished it,
Museum too.
Yeah, Cowboy Museum's fine.
You know,
It's not-
if you're gonna
I'll
stop
let
there,
you-
you might as well go to what is that place in Fort Cowtown? Yeah, the cattle. Where's that place where they got all the cattle? I heard that place is really haunted. I don't know why, but there's a bunch of cattle over there. The cattle yard in Fort Worth.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. We're supposed to go there, but we kind of ran out of time.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to go there. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Thanks for
I
having
really
Thanks
do.
for having us.
Yes, sir. Anytime. What's going to happen now is once I get off with you guys, I'm going to click over to once StreamYard download the podcast, I'm going to divide it into clips. So once I get those clips going, if you guys see them on social media, feel free to, put it on your social media and all that stuff. Whatever you guys see fit. This is your podcast, so you can share it with the world if you choose to do so.
You are a
Thank
wonderful
you.
host.
Thank
You are
you.
a great host.
Yes.
Well, thank you,
Oh,
Dave. I
wow.
appreciate it. I know Margaret said it's past your bedtime.
Okay.
We had coffee, so we can stay up.
Oh, you had your coffee, so you're going to stay up?
Yeah.
So we can stay up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing for us. Good for you.
Well, and besides, man, I got to grab something to eat. It's not too often I get the house to myself. My son is at work tonight. So I got to enjoy it while I can.
Go have some dinner. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Well, thank you, Irene. I appreciate that. For that, I'm not going to give you a hard time, at least for a day. All right, guys. Hey, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. If you guys are ever in Rhode Island, if you guys are looking for a place to, just talk, or you're looking for a ghost tour, or whatever the case may be, please look these guys up. They will help you with all your paranormal needs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And they might even take you to a place where you can sit down and have a beer or two.
Oh, you betcha.
But
We have a place. There is a
Yeah,
wine
see?
bar.
Oh yeah.
So feel free. But in the meantime, if you guys can't make it up there, man, go to their Facebook page, hit their likes, hit their follow, and and all that good stuff. Let's get these numbers up for them, and let's show a lot of love and a lot of support. You know what I'm saying? So, but with that being said, Margaret, Dave, thank you again.
Thank you, Terry.
For having me on the
You're
show.
welcome. You're welcome.
And
See you again.
I will be calling you in 3
Okay.
months. I'm gonna call you in 3 months to see how things are going with you guys.
We'll be here,
We'll
hopefully.
be here.
Hopefully.
Either way, I can get a hold of you guys. Either
Yep.
way, if
Either
it's in
way.
this, if hopefully nothing ever happens. I hope we live till we're 130 years old.
Oh, I don't know if I want to live.
And remember, your mother's with you. Not right now. You can't see her, but she's around you.
Well, my mother is actually.
Oh, she's alive?
She's still alive. And
She's great with you, man.
She's just as grouchy as ever.
That's okay.
But my wife is somewhere around here. I lost her 3 years ago.
Yeah, that probably is who.
So that's probably who. She makes herself known every now and then.
I bet she does.
She'll take my car keys, maybe, or I hear her whisper in my ear or something.
You're safe,
But
man.
we seem to talk every week. So talking to her, it's like she's still here.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So
They never really leave.
No, they don't.
So yeah.
Yeah.
She's right here with me somewhere. Well, she needs to go cook me dinner.
Yeah, there you go. Like we were saying.
Hey, go cook me dinner, woman. Get in there. But hey, guys. But anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And if I don't hear from you guys, have a happy 4th of July. And I will be calling you guys soon. So please.
Okay.
Be expecting me, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
Enjoy your night. Hey guys, this is Terry with NSBS TV podcast. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I will have Ghost Quest on the show, so please tune in for that podcast, and I'll see you again. Dave, stay out of trouble.
I'm trying, man.
Have a good evening, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
V4 Vendetta Beats Production.